Alright, all you vintage enthusiasts here, got a layout of parts getting ready to go in. Some big old tall ram right there, a couple of heat sinks, 2 heat sinks for 2 PIII Tualatins for this new, still sealed in package old server board. Boy, the person that scored this found a box that has like 6 or 7 of these. Got it on eBay. Gonna be fun to put this together. Okay, board is in the case, and one thing is pretty weird here. This is a PIII board, and so I'm sitting there and I go to get my other power supply, which is over here, standard old Antec 350, 20 pin power. But no, this bad boy needs the 24 pin power plug. So I had to go get a power supply. Got a decent, little Evga here. It was only 60 bucks, not bad. Of course, it only has one set of Molex. Of course, that's all I need there. Got a 40 gig hard drive, DVD up top, floppy, of course, in there. That's 4 gigs of RAM, and you can see it's got the onboard SCSI. Turn that off. Don't have any of those type of drives, so not trying to make that anyway. Just want to see how this dual Tualatin board performs. And so we have our standard sound blaster. That's a gigabit NIC, because this little guy only has the 10100. There's an HD 9250 256 meg card. It was the only one that's PCI that I could find around there. There's a little Asus USB riser for that little white one right there behind the printer plug, and then there's a USB 2.0 card that I'll get in there, and we'll see how she does. Okay, we are booting up here, and just to show that it's all hooked up there and running well. I was debating whether I was going to do Windows XP or 2K, so I'm going to start with 2K here and make sure it should see. Of course, it's 32-bit, so it's only going to see 3.5 gigs, which is fine. I'd have to do like advanced server 2K, and then I still want to have this as a kind of a gaming machine here, sort of. So I want to be able to play some stuff on it. So anyway, we're gonna play with this, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, Windows 2K installed. There's my two Tualatins rocking away, copying the i386 folder to the Windows folder, so that I can get with putting in these cards, and it should just go right. Pretty simple, I would think. Everything's kind of old, and this is Windows 2K with Service Pack 4, so we should be able to pop these cards in rather quickly. Machine's working real well. Those fans, Cooler Masters, aren't making much noise despite they're going 4,500 RPM. Pretty sweet. Okay, one thing interesting on this machine, it keeps coming up with a hardware monitor found an error, and usually that's a fan speed or something like that. So I haven't been messing with it, but I finally looked at it, and I have never seen a motherboard Okay, because there's your standard stuff. Got your temperatures and your fan speeds and your voltages. Okay, but cruising on down to the bottom, battery voltage. That's the error. I have never seen a motherboard that actually monitors its little 2302 battery. So I'm going to go ahead and pop in my Radeon 9250 and a new battery. I popped in the NIC because the one thing that Windows 2K could not see or have the drivers for by itself was the onboard NIC, which is rather strange. But anyway, and I can't even turn it off in the BIOS, so oh well, no biggie, because I was going to put that one in there anyway. It's a gigabit, and so off and rolling with that. But yeah, that was weird. Never seen a motherboard that actually monitors its battery's voltage. And considering this thing has probably been in a box for 15 years, that's pretty good. Okay, well, we can see here what's going on there. The Service Pack 5 unofficial, you know, Windows 2000 went all the way to Service Pack 4 from Microsoft, but obviously plenty of updates past that, and so that's done. And so there's my, you know, just showing the task manager here, and total memory 36 or 3.6 because it's 32-bit setup here. Close that. We'll go ahead and reboot this boy. And so that Service Pack 5 unofficial put on there, and so that should be rebooting. And so we're gonna be putting on some sound and some USB 2.0. Put in a new battery there, and sure enough, don't get the hardware error here. As you'll see, it'll boot right up without that. It's a nice little machine here. I'm just, you know, these big old 66 megahertz PCI buses, you can't put a regular one in there because that's 3 volts, whereas regular PCI is 5 volts. So those are kind of useless, and they certainly don't make consumer type cards that are 66 megahertz bus on them. Again, you know, I had to turn off the SCSI there. Don't have any ultra-wide SCSI hard drives laying around. Not something that most anybody keeps. Anyway, this thing is rocking. The videos cards all installed. And so I still got to put on the .NET because the ATI Catalyst has to have that. So I have to go get that here just now. Okay, this machine is, I'm thinking, almost done there. We got sound, we got gig Ethernet, we got extra USB 2.0, the fastest PCI video card I could find. Haven't looked around again, but that HD, or yeah, it's just a Radeon 9250. Dual PIII Tualatin 1.4s. 3.6 gigs of RAM, and so put the fan there blowing out, and the cover of this thing is pretty nice here. It's got the window, big old 120 fan, and so it's cranking away here. I'll put some video games on and we'll go for a little spin or something. Well, there she is, all put together and cooling out. Big old 120 on top of that. Cooling those processors and those big old sticks of RAM. Those things are tall. Anyway, messing around trying to get some games installed, but some of the GOG stuff I have doesn't seem too 2K friendly. Okay, all done here. We've got Unreal Tournament Game of the Year setting up here. Now it would only let me shoot it at 1280 by 960, 32-bit. Windows is set at 1980, but the game would only go that far. So we'll see what we get here and just play a little bit. And so this is our dual Pentium Radeon. Oh, of course. It's got that. Oh yeah. Get a little stuck doing that. So there's one, and we'll switch to a different one. Alright, so that was Unreal Game of the Year. Here is Unreal 2K4. So same resolution, 32-bit, 1280 by 960. But this one certainly well after the P3s came out. And you can see a little bit of stuff there once the game loads. I mean, it ain't no core nothing. Still pretty good for a P3 and a 256 meg video card. Oh, not the window. Where is everybody? Anyway, there we go. And lastly here, just to show, there's the temperature monitor, 48 and 45 degrees on the two CPUs, and you can see that's what, while it was playing the game, that's all it got to. Pretty sweet.